Kana hop napi relatives, and biwa Tahushka Opi Miha. What's good, relatives? So today we are getting back into the family history again, back into the Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, American Indian family history. And last time when we did the last video, we left off here at the Andrews family. So that's where we will start today. So let's get into it. All right, it says Andrew's family. All right, we starting out with Tom, born, say, 1700, a Negro slave, was freed by November 28, 1720, Surrey County, Virginia. Will of Bartholomew Andrews. After the death of Andrews' wife, Elizabeth, the will was proved on May 18, 1726. Tom may have been the ancestor of the free Andrews family. All right, we got Catherine, born, say, 1748, living in the household of Francis and his wife, Hannah Locust, in Southampton County on April 11, 1754, when Francis was indicted for not listing her as a tithable. Then we have Thomas, born, say, 1770. Next, there's Charles, born about 1771, listed as William Cypress's tithable in Surrey County in 1794. He registered in Petersburg on August 18, 1794. A light yellow mulatto man, 5 feet 5.5 inches high, 23 years old, born free and raised in the county of Chesterfield. He registered again on January 19, 1798. A light yellow mulatto man, 5 feet 5.5 inches high, 26 years old, short bushy hair, square, well made, and he registered in Surrey County on July 24, 1799. A bright mulatto man, 5'6" high, 26 years, has curled hair, by profession a shoemaker. And then next we have Hannah, head of a Richmond city household of 4 other free in 1810. Next we got Thomas Andrews, born, say, 1770, married Rebecca Charity, April 26, 1791, Surrey County, Virginia. Bond. Joseph Berg, surety. May 11th, marriage by Reverend Samuel Butler, rector of Southwark Parish Episcopal Church. He was a mulatto, taxable in Cabin Point District of Surrey County in 1793 and 1794. Says Becky was a free mulatto, counted in Surrey County in 1803 with her children Archer, Thomas, Chrissia, and Patsy Andrews, living with Sally Charity. It says, and taxable on a male free Negro and mulatto in 1814. Rebecca was the mother of Patsy, born, say, 1791, daughter of Becky Andrews, married Graham Scott, April 20th, 1810, Surrey County Bond. David Charity surety, April 22nd, marriage by Reverend James Hill. Then we have Chrissia, born, say, 1792. Archer, born about 1793. Registered in Surrey County on January 25th, 1814. And it says Archer Anders, a very bright mulatto man, born of free parents, has long straight hair, very well made, about 21 years of age, and is 5'8.5 inches high. He registered as Archer Andrews on February 22nd, 1830. And last we have Thomas, born about 1794, registered in Surrey County on January 25th, 1814. A very bright mulatto man born of free parents, about 20 years of age, well made, and is 5'7.5" high. He married Faithy Walden, daughter of Drury Walden. February 20th, 1815, Surrey County Bond, Nicholas Scott Surety. February 22nd, marriage by Reverend James Warren Methodist. All right, relatives. So that was the Andrews family. All right, again, it looks like they were in Surrey County, Virginia. We got some good dates of birth and quite a bit of a few different names going on here. So if the Andrews family is showing up in your genealogy, this is definitely some good information to look into. All right, relatives, let's keep it moving. Next, we have the Angus family, and this is going to be a short one. It says Isabel Angus, born, say, 1695, had a mulatto child before June 4th, 1718, when John Cornick, her master, agreed to pay the church wardens of Princess Anne County £15 out of Isabel's estate, which was in his hands. She was probably the ancestor of Abigail, a mulatto girl given to Solomon Jones in his September 15th, 1721-22 Princess Anne County will to his daughter Susanna after his wife deceased. And then we got Abraham, head of Petersburg town household of 6 other free and 3 slaves in 1810. All right, relatives, that was the Angus family. Again, not a whole lot of information here. Wasn't very long. Looks like they were in Princess Anne County. So, again, if the Angus family is showing up in your genealogy, this is a good little tiny bit of information you can check out. All right, so we're going to move on. Looks like the next family we will be doing is the Archer family. Excuse me. All right, it says John Archer, born, say, 1647, was one of the first Africans freed in Northampton County, Virginia. He was in the list of tithables, John Archer Negro, and dodge that African thing, hijack. In Miss Grace Robbins' household with her white servants in 1665, 1666, 1671, 1675, and 1677. It may have been the John who was listed among the slaves of Major John Robbins in the 1664 list of tithables. On February 28, 1697, he bound his son Thomas Archer as an apprentice in Northampton County Court. And it says Thomas Archer, the son of John Archer, voluntarily and of his own free will and with his said father's consent, was bound by this court to Major John Robbins till 21 years of age, he being 11 years of age, the 20 day of his instant month of February. All right. It says on May 30th, 1699, William Ronan sued him in court for a 10-foot horse mill will he had failed to deliver. It says John's son was Thomas, born February 20th, 1686, 87. Thomas Archer, born February 20th, 1686, 87, was taxable in the Great Bridge District of Norfolk County, Virginia, more than 40 years later in 1730. It says Thomas Archie, 1. 1731, Thomas Archie and his son. 1732, Thomas Archer and John, his son, and William Weaver, 3. 1733, it says Thomas Archer and John, his son, and William Weaver, 3. Says 1734, Douglas Grimes and Ann Archie, a mulatto, 2. Then it says Thos Archer and his wife and John Archer, 3. 1735, Thos Archer, son John, wife Mary, and daughter Ann. All right, let's keep it moving, family. It says Thomas and his family moved to Bertie County, North Carolina, where he signed as witness to a February 1741 deed to William Weaver, a titleable in his Norfolk household in 1735. On May 1st, 1744, he was called Thomas Archer, laborer, when he bought 200 acres near Chincapin Neck for the sum of 1 whole year's work already paid. And on July 6, 1750, he paid £100 for a further 340 acres adjoining Thomas Johnson. This land was located in the southeast corner of present-day Hertford County, near the Bertie County line. He was taxable as a free mulatto with his wife Mary and children in 1751. Bertie tax list and the list from 1753 until 1759, when Hertford County was formed from Bertie. It says in 1758 he was taxable on the list of John Breckle with his wife Mary, but in 1759 he was taxable on the list of Henry Hill with his wife Nancy. Perhaps she was related to Thomas Harrell, who was listed in his household that year. We lose track of most of the family at this point because the early records for Hertford County were burned in a courthouse fire. However, Hertford County probate returns filed with the state government have survived. And there we find a return for Thomas Archer in October 1761. The administratrix of his estate was Elizabeth Archer, who was probably the wife of one of his 3 sons, who were all married to an Elizabeth, Thomas, William, and Baker Archer. We can identify his children from the Norfolk and Bertie County tax list. It says Mary born, say 1712, John born before 1715, Anne born before 1719, taxable in Norfolk County in 1734. Thomas Jr. born, say 1730. William born, say 1732, taxable in the 1757 list of John Bricknell on himself, his wife Eliza, and James Weaver. He was head of a Hertford County household of 5 other free and a white woman in 1790, and 6 other free in 1800. Then we got Baker, born, say, 1734. We got Abel, born, say, 1735, taxable in 1751, in his father's Bertie County household. He was taxable on a married pole in District 3 of Hertford County in 1779 and 1784. Then we got Hancock, born, say, 1738, taxable in his father's household in the 1757 list of John Brickle. His father made a deed of gift to him of 340 acres in Bertie County on March 29, 1755. And then we got Jacob, born, say, 1745. All right, let's keep it moving. Next, we have Mary Archer, born, say, 1712, was taxable in Norfolk County in the district above Great Bridge. in John Pinkerton's household in 1735, perhaps the same Mary Archer who was counted in James Wilson Jr.'s household that year. She may have been identical to Mary Archer, who was taxable on 2 parcels in Hartford County in 1770. And she may have been the mother of Jacob, born, say, 1732, Armstrong, born, say, 1736, Ezekiel, born, say, 1747, not taxed in Bertie County, taxable in Hartford County in District 5 on 3 cattle and 2 horses in 1779, and on 1 pole in 1784. He received voucher number 2005 for 12 pounds, specie in Edenton District on August 16, 1783, for military service in the Revolution, and was head of a Hartford County household of 7 other free and 3 slaves in 1800. All right, let's keep it moving, relatives. Next, we got Caleb, born after 1747, since he was not taxed in Bertie County in 1759. He was head of a Hertford County household of 5 other free in 1790 and 9 in 1800 in Captain Lewis's district. He was in a list of militiamen drafted from Hertford County in the 3rd Division, commanded by Major George Little. He was allowed 26 pounds pay for service in the Revolution from November 10th, 1777 to August 10th, 1778. And it says on June 7th, 1792, he appointed James Carraway of Cumberland County his attorney to receive his payment for services in the Continental Line in 1778 and 1779. All right, let's keep it moving. Next, we have John Archer, born before 1715, was taxable in 1730 in Norfolk County. On March 6, 1741-42, he paid 40 pounds for 200 acres in Bertie County near a hothouse on Edward Carter's line. And it says in 1751, he and his wife Frances were free mulatto, taxables in Bertie County. And in 1757, he was in the Bertie County tax list of John Brickell with his wife and children, Anne and Jeremiah. He was still listed in the Bertie County list after 1759 when Hertford County was separated from Bertie. So his land was on the Bertie side of the Hertford County line. He and his wife Frances and her son Jeremiah were taxables in the 1775 list of Thomas Ward. He purchased 100 acres in Bertie County near Lucent Swamp on October 2nd, 1777. It was taxable on this land and 7 cattle in 1779 and wins in King's District. The February 1787 Bertie court exempted him from paying poll tax, probably because of old age. His children were. Give me 1 second, relatives. All right, relatives, we back. All right. So we were saying who John Archer's children were. All right, we got Anne, born about 1744, taxable in her father's household in 1757. List of John Brickell. Jeremiah, born about 1745, taxable in his father's household in 1757. Zachariah, born, say, 1750, taxable in Jonathan Stanley 1766 Bertie County list. In 1772, he was head of a household with Sarah Archer, probably his wife. in the list of Thomas Ward, adjacent to John Archer. Zachariah was one of the freeholders ordered to work on a road over a losing swamp, and he was a juror in the September 22nd, 1772 term of the Bertie County Court. It says by 1779 he was in Martin County with property assessed at 456 pounds in the tax list filed with the state government. He was granted 150 acres on a cypress swamp in Martin County on March 1st, 1780. He received 9 pounds in Halifax District in June 1783 for service in the Revolution. And it says Zachariah Archer in the 1787 state census for Martin County, he had 8 persons in his district, 7 household, and was head of a Martin County household of 6 other free and a white woman in 1790. 1 other free and a white woman in 1800, and 2 other free in Edgecombe County in 1810. He purchased 128 acres in Edgecombe County for $150 on January 11th, 1802. By his December 14th, 1817 Edgecombe County will, approved on February 1818. He left 1/3 of his land and his mansion to his wife, Joanna. Left the remainder of his land to Zachariah Dew and named his brothers John and Jeremiah. All right. Next, we got John, born, say, 1753. Then we got Thomas Archer, Jr., born, say, 1730, was head of a Bertie County household of 2 tithables in 1754. He was taxable with his wife, Elise. In the 1759 list of John Brickle and the constable's list of Edward Williams. He was taxable in Hertford County on 4 persons in 1768, 5 persons in 1770, on 200 acres, 5 cattle and 2 horses in District 5 of Hertford County in 1779, and 200 acres and 1 pole in 1784. He was head of a Hertford County household of 5 other free in 1790 and 8 in 1800. He may have been the father of. Okay, first we got Peggy Morn, before 1776, head of a Hertford County household of 2 other free in 1790 and 3 in 1800. Taxable on 11.5 acres in Captain J. Jenkins District for Hertford County in 1815, and head of a Hertford County household of 5 free colored in 1820. Then we got Thomas, born before 1776. We got Armstrong, born, say, 1760, taxable in Hertford County on 1 pole in 1784 and taxable on 110 3/4 acres and no poles in 1815. And head of a Hertford County household of 4 other free in 1790 and 3 other free and a white woman aged 26 to 45 in 1800. 6 other free in 1810 and 4 free colored in 1820. All right. Next, we have William, head of a Hertford County household, 4 other free in 1800 and 3 other free in 1810. Taxable on 11.5 acres on Captain J. Jenkins District for Hertford County in 1815. And we got Roland, head of a Hertford County household of 4 other free in 1800. Then we have Simon, born before 1776, head of a Hertford County household of 9 other free in 1810, 7 free colored in 1820, and taxable on 124 3/4 acres on Captain J. Jenkins District of Hartford County in 1815. All right, let's keep it moving. Next, we have Baker Archer. born, say, 1734, was taxable in Bertie County, household of his father, Thomas Archer, in 1751. He was married to Elizabeth by 1757 when he was taxable with her in John Brickell's list. He was taxable in Hereford on 3 persons in 1770 and taxable on a horse and 3 cattle in District 3 of Hereford County in 1779. He was probably the father of Evans, born about 1754. Then we got Jess, born, say, 1764, a private who served and died in the Revolution. His heir, Baker Archer, received 640 acres of bounty land for his service. All right, then it shows where you can, it's got the link where you can look up that information. All right, next we have Jacob Archer, born, say, 1745, was taxable in 1758 in the Bertie County household of his father, Thomas Archer, in the list of John Brickell, taxable on 2 tithes in Hereford County in 1770, and taxable on 125 acres in District 2 of Hereford County in 1779 and 1784. He received voucher numbers 1960 and 2309 for a total of 21 pounds specie on August 1st, 1783 and August 26, 1783 in Edenton District for military service in the Revolution. He was head of a Hereford County household of 8 other free in 1790 and 7 in Captain Langston's district in 1800. Says he moved to Sumner County, Tennessee, where his undated will was recorded about 1807. He left land in Hartford County, North Carolina, to his son Jacob, and $40 each to his oldest son Josiah and second son Hezekiah. The will also mentioned his wife Sarah and other unnamed children. Simon Shoecraft was a witness to the will. His 3 children named in his will were Josiah, head of a Hertford County household of 2 other free in 1800, and 3 free colored in Wilson County, Tennessee in 1820. Then we have Hezekiah, born before 1776, head of a Hartford County household of 4 other free in 1800, and 9 free colored in Wilson County, Tennessee in 1830. Then we got Jacob, born after 1775, received warrant number 21334 in Wilson County, Tennessee on September 27th, 1814 for 20 acres, lying in the 1st District between Barton's Creek and Spring Creek on the west boundary of a tract of land sold by Martin Talley to Jacob. And it says Jacob was head of a Wilson County, Tennessee household of 14 free colored in 1830. All right, let's keep it moving, relatives. Next, we have Jacob Archer, born, say, 1730, was taxable in his own household in the Western Branch District of Norfolk County from 1750 to 1778, and taxable on 5 cattle in Norfolk County in 1782. His children may have been. We got John, born, say, 1750, taxable in John Lilo's Norfolk County household in 1766, and in the household of his father Jacob Archer in 1771. His Norfolk County tax was charged to Lucy Shoecraft in 1770. Next, we got Thomas, born, say, 1758. Next, we have Dempsey, born, say, 1762, a private who enlisted in L.E.'s company of the 7th North Carolina Regiment in the Revolution for 3 years in November 1777 and died on February 14, 1778. His heir, Baker Archer, received military warrant number 2899 for 640 acres of bounty land for his service. Also abstracted by Hahn. Says North Carolina Revolutionary Army accounts. It says Dempsey's heir Jacob Archer assigned his right to military warrant 2899 to James Closter Brehon in 1788. And then we got Olaf, head of a Norfolk County household of 3 other free in 1810. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so next we have Armstrong Archer. Born, say, 1736, was listed in his own Bertie County household in 1756. Constable's list of Edward Williams, and was an insolvent taxpayer in 1757. He mustered with Captain Benjamin Lane, Edgecombe County Militia in the 1750s. Says he was taxable as a married man in Currituck County in 1779 and taxable in Norfolk County from 1782 to 1788. Taxable on 3 cattle in 1782, 4 cattle in 1783, 2 cattle and a horse in 1784, taxable on his son Thomas in 1786, taxable on only his own tithe in 1788. He was the father of. We got Thomas, born, say, 1768, taxable on his father and his father Armstrong Archer's household in Norfolk County in 1786, taxable in Norfolk County in 1803, taxable on Thomas Archer Sr.'s household in 1805, in his own household in 1806. Then we got Armstrong, born, say, 1789, taxable in Portsmouth and Elizabeth River Parish in Norfolk County from 1807 to 1811. All right, let's keep it moving. John Archer, born, say, 1753, was a free mulatto, taxable in the household of John Schuler Jr. and an untitled Bertie tax list for 1765. In 1766, he was taxable in William Wheeler's household, and in 1767 was in Henry Bunch's household and Jonathan Stanley's list. By 1779, he was in Martin County, where he was taxable as a married man. He received £9 in Halifax District for service in the Revolution. And it says John Archer. Okay. It says he may have been the John Archer who sold 50 acres in Halifax County, North Carolina, joining Reedy Branch on December 16, 1783. He was head of a Halifax County household of 9 other free in 1790 and 5 other free and a white woman under the age of 45 in 1810. He was probably deceased by December 4th, 1817, when his children, unnamed, were mentioned in the will of his brother Zachariah. It says Prudence Archie, 88 years old in 1850, a mulatto born in North Carolina and living with Polly Murray in the Wilson County, Tennessee census, may have been the widow or sister. It says the Murray family lived in both Martin and Halifax counties about 1790. All right, it goes on to say his children were. We got Polly, charged Jesse Brooks at Halifax County Court on February 20th, 1800, with begetting her bastard child. And we got Reddick, head of a Halifax County household of 3 other free in 1800 and 6 in Edgecombe County in 1810. Taxable on 1 free pole in Edgecombe County in 1815. Then we have Jonathan, head of a Edgecombe County household of 4 other free in 1810. Next we have Norfleet, born about 1785, the 16-year-old son of John Archer, ordered bound to Elijah Wilkins to be an apprentice blacksmith by the Halifax County Court on February 16, 1801. He was head of a Halifax County household of 2 other free in 1810 and 5 free colored in 1820. Then we have Penny, head of a Halifax County household of 2 other free in 1810 and 6 free colored in Hertford County in 1820. And then we got David, head of a Halifax County household of 4 free colored in 1820. All right, let's keep it moving, relatives. So next we have Thomas Archer, born, say, 1762, was head of an Orange County, North Carolina household of 5 free colored in 1820. He was identified as a Revolutionary War soldier and father of Nancy, wife of Elias Roberts, and Elias's Chatham County Free Papers. The paper stated that Thomas Archie had resided in Chatham County for 23 years, but was living in Orange County, North Carolina. When the papers were issued on February 10th, 1823, he was the father of. All right, we got Jesse, born, say, 1785, married Patty Havecock, October 24th, 1807, Orange County bond. Holiday Havecock, bondsman. Says he was head of an Orange County household of 5 free colored in 1820. He left a April 9th, 1855 Orange County will, proved August 1855, by which he left 162 acres to his wife, and after her death to his son, Stephen, and his wife's granddaughter, Patsy Havecock. He also named his daughter Candace Havecock and grandchildren Jesse Archer, Minday N. Archer, Thomas Archer, and Stephen Archer. All right, let's keep it moving, relatives. We got Moses, born about 1794, married Polly Roberts. April 23rd, 1813, Orange County bond, Matthias Milton and Moses Bass, bondsman. He was in the 5th Company detached from the Chatham County Regiment in the War of 1812. Moses Archie was head of a Chatham County household, 4 other free in 1820, and was a 56-year-old black man living in Lost Creek Township, Vigo County, Indiana, in 1850 with wife Polly and 9-year-old Margaret Artis. All right, next we got Sally, married Benjamin Roberts, June 30th, 1817, Orange County bond. Jesse Archer, bondsman. And next we have Nancy, wife of Elias Roberts. All right, let's keep it moving. Next we got Evans Archer, born about 1755, was a soldier, born in Hertford County and living in Norfolk County on September 23rd, 1780. When he enlisted in the Revolution for 1.5 years, age 25, yellow complexion, 5'4" and 1/4 high, marched to join Colonel Green. And let's see, he was taxable in Norfolk County, Virginia in 1786 and 1787. And head of a Hertford County household of 3 other free in 1790, 3 in 1800, and 3 free colored in 1820. He was 69 years old on September 27th, 1823, when he applied for a Revolutionary War pension in Hertford County Court, stating that he enlisted in Portsmouth, Virginia, for 18 months until January 1782. He lived with his daughter Margaret, a single woman with a 4-year-old child. Then it says Martin Bizzle testified for him. And in 1835, he was listed as a Revolutionary War pensioner in a report to Congress. One of his children was Margaret, born, say, 1784, counted in a list of free Negroes and mulattoes in St. Bride's Parish, Norfolk County, in 1814. A free Negro taxable and a free male titleable from 1816 to 1820. All right, let's keep it moving. Next, we have Thomas Archer, born, say, 1758, purchased 25 acres at the head of the western branch of Elizabeth River in Norfolk County for £50 on May 10th, 1780. He was taxable in Norfolk County in 1776, head of a household of 7 persons in 1785, taxable on a horse in Portsmouth and Elizabeth River parishes from 1783 to 1817, taxable on 2 free males in 1791, 1792, and 1794, a planter on Western Branch in 1801 when he was counted in a list of free Negroes and mulattoes, called a mulatto in 1802 and 1803, charged with Thomas Archer Jr.'s tithe in 1805, a black man taxable on a horse and 6 cattle in Portsmouth from 1815 to 1817, and head of a Norfolk County household of 6 other free in 1810, perhaps his wife Eunice Archer, who registered in Norfolk County on August 20th, 1810, says 4 feet 11 inches, 54 years of age, yellow complexion. On December 12, 1810, he purchased 7 acres in Norfolk County on the south side of Richard David's Mill Run, adjoining his own land from Thomas Newton for $105. He sold 4 acres at the head of the western branch to Jesse Weaver on March 5th, 1817, and on October 20th, 1812, he made a Norfolk County deed of gift of all his personal estate to his daughter Elizabeth Weaver. His children were, says Elizabeth married Jesse Weaver in Norfolk County on September 14th, 1805. And we got Sally Weaver, sold for $200 her inheritance from her father, Thomas Archer, consisting of a tract of land at the head of the western branch adjoining Adam Perkins, by deed proved in Norfolk County in 1819. All right, let's keep it moving. And it says other members of the Archer family were Sophia, born about 1775, registered in Norfolk County on July 19, 1798. A mulatto girl about 23 years of age, was freeborn. Next, we have Abram, taxable on 1 pole in Captain J. Jenkins' district for Hartford County in 1815, head of a Hartford County household of 9 free colored in 1820. Then we have Ezekiel Jr., taxable on 1 pole in Captain J. Jenkins' district for Hartford County in 1815, head of a Hartford County household of 6 free colored in 1820. All right, next we have Edmund, taxable on 1 pole in Hartford County in 1815. Then we have Ralph, born before 1776, head of a Hartford County household of 6 other free in 1810. 3 free colored men in 1820, and taxable on 1 pole in Captain J. Jenkins' district for Hartford County in 1815. Then next we have Anthony, a free male Negro above the age of 16 in St. Bride's Parish, Norfolk County in 1815 and 1817. Then we got Matthew, a black male taxable in Portsmouth from 1819 to 1822, called Lamia Archer in 1822. Then next we have Armstrong, born about 1804, registered in Norfolk County in October 17th, 1825. He was 21 years, 5 feet 9 inches, of a light complexion, born free. And then we got Armstrong, born about 1810, registered in Norfolk County on February 15th, 1830. 20 years, 5 feet 9 inches, dark mulatto, born free. All right. Next, it says Southampton County. Luke Archer, born, say, 1750, was a Negro, taxable in St. Luke's Parish, Southampton County, on 2 slaves above 16, 2 slaves 12 to 16, and 2 horses in 1788. Taxable on a slave and 3 horses in 1789, a slave and a horse in 1790, 2 free male titleables in 1792, taxable on 2 slaves over the age of 16 in 1793, taxable called Luke Artis on a horse in 1794, taxable on a slave aged 12 to 16 in 1797, 2 slaves over 16 in 1798, and taxable on his own tithe and a horse from 1799 to 1804. He married Honor Artis, daughter of Lewis Artis, January 26, 1792, Southampton County bond. He registered in Southampton County on June 1st, 1802, age 55, mulatto, 5 feet 8 and 1/4 inches, freed by Joshua Vick, Southampton County deed. He left a November 22nd, 1802 Southampton County will, proved May 21st, 1804, by which he left 10.5 acres of land he had purchased from Arthur Whitehead to his wife Hannah, and named his children Lemuel, Ellie, Vines, Reuben, Jesse, Betsy, and Burwell Archer, who were all underage, and named his wife Hannah as executrix. His widow Hannah Archer was taxable on a horse in 1805 and 1806. On April 21st, 1807, the Southampton County Court summoned the administrators of his estate, George Artis and his wife Hannah, to give supplemental security for the administration of the estate he was the father of. It says Ellie or Eli, born about 1790, registered in Southampton County on February 17th, 1827, age 37, very bright complected, 5 feet 11.5 inches, freeborn. It says he was a free Negro, taxable in the St. Luke's Parish, Southampton County household of Thomas Barnes in 1817. Then we got Lemuel, born, say, 1795. We have Ben. And then we got Reuben, born about 1799, registered in Southampton County on March 15th, 1827, age 28, rather light complexion, 5 feet 11 inches, freeborn. He was a free Negro, taxable in Evans Pope's St. Luke's Parish, Southampton County household in 1812. Next we have Jesse. Then we got Betsy. Then we got Burwell, born about 1802, registered in Southampton County on April 12th, 1827. Age 25, light complected, 5 feet 11 and 1/4 inches, freeborn. Then we got Rebecca, born about 1804, registered in Southampton County on March 15th, 1827, age 23, rather light complexion, 5 feet 8 inches, freeborn. All right, let's keep it moving. Next, we have Lamia Archer, born, say, 1795, was a free Negro, taxable in St. Luke's Parish, Southampton County, in Reuben Havecock's household in 1814, in the household of Bryant Davis in 1817, and head of the Northampton County, North Carolina household of Ford Free Color in 1820. He and his wife Dolly and their 6 children obtained free papers in Northampton County on March 23rd, 1831, and recorded them on October 22nd, 1838 in Logan County, Ohio. It says Dorothy was devised land in Logan County, Ohio by the July 31st, 1835, Northampton County will of her father, Nathaniel Newsom. Nathaniel Newsom owned land on the Roanoke River in Northampton County, adjoining Halifax County. Then it says Lemieux and Dorothy's children were. We got Jesse, born about 1815, a black man counted in the 1860 Logan County Census in Jefferson Township. Zanesfield Post Office with 7 children born in Ohio. Excuse me. Then we got Tabitha, Annie, Edie, Bedford, and Lemieux. All right, relatives. So we're going to stop there. That was a really long one. So I believe that was the Archer family, and we got a lot of good information out of this one. So again, if the Archer family does show up in your genealogy, they look like most of them were in Northampton County, Virginia. And we got a lot of names, some birth dates, some good dates, and all of this. So hopefully this will definitely help you out on your genealogy search if this surname comes up. All right, so let me stop screen sharing real quick. All right, relatives. So again, as always, I appreciate everyone taking the time to listen to the video. As you can see, these records that we're going over, this family history, I use it too. So, I've been looking through some of this as some of my ancestors that pull up just to kind of, fact check things, to see what correlates with the other. So, it's very helpful and very useful. And the link to where I read all the information is always in the description of my videos. So anybody looking to check a certain surname or, pictures or whatever, that's where you can definitely go to see it. And again, I appreciate everybody. And like I always say, we will see you next time. Later.